हेलो फ्रेंड्स, क्या हाल है दोस्तों। आज मोर टॉक्स में मैं एक बहुत स्पेशल गेस्ट को लेकर आया। जी हाँ, मैं लेके आया हूँ मेजर जनरल विक्रम देव डोगरा, अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल। ही वॉज द फर्स्ट जनरल इन द वर्ल्ड टू डू एन आयरन मैन। जब उन्होंने सर्विंग आर्मी में मेजर जनरल थे, उन्होंने पहला अपना आयरन मैन किया था ऑस्ट्रिया में। उसके बाद ही डिड अनदर वन इन जर्मनी एंड रिसेंटली, मतलब पिछले साल, he did his third Ironman in Barcelona, Spain. One of the most outstanding officers. First time में एनडीए क्रैक किया, फर्स्ट टाइम में एसएसबी क्रैक की। was initially very weak physically. आप इंटरव्यू में सुनना वो क्या बता रहे हैं अपने शुरू के टर्म्स के बारे में एनडीए में। Then became so fit that he got the para medal in IMA for the fittest cadet to pass out of his course. He was sword of honor in IMA and also gold medalist. So you can imagine किस क्वालिटी का ऑफिसर रहे हैं जनरल डोगरा। He joined the Pune Horse, which is the most decorated unit of the Indian Army with 2 Paramveer Chakras. Because as a top in the merit, first in IMA, he could choose any unit of the Indian Army. So he joined Pune Horse. उसके बाद उन्होंने Pune Horse कमांड की। He commanded an armored brigade, commanded an infantry division, and retired from the army as a major general. And just before retirement, he got this idea कि मैंने कुछ नया करना है, when he missed his board or he was not made a 3-star lieutenant general. So his journey of becoming an Iron Man and carrying the image of the Indian Army abroad is very very inspiring. और इस पूरे इंटरव्यू में उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ के बारे में बताया। एंड आयरन मैन कोई छोटी मोटी चीज नहीं है, एंड दैट टू डू इट एट 62 years of age, बहुत हिम्मत चाहिए, मेंटल एंड फिजिकल। Because this event involves 3.8 किलोमीटर स्विम। जी हाँ, 3.8 किलोमीटर की स्विमिंग, जो कि सी में या कोई वाटर बॉडी में या बहुत बड़ी लेक में होती है। उसके बाद 180 किलोमीटर की साइकिलिंग, 180 किलोमीटर ऑफ साइकिलिंग, एंड देयर इज नो बैकअप। अगर साइकिल पंचर हो जाए, ट्यूब फट जाए, कुछ भी हो जाए, आपने खुद ही ठीक करना है। नोबडी एल्स कैन हेल्प यू। सो आपने अपने स्पेयर्स भी कैरी करने हैं। और उसके बाद साइकिलिंग के बाद देन इट इज फुल मैराथन 42 किलोमीटर्स। सो स्विमिंग, रनिंग एंड मैराथन इन दैट ऑर्डर। मैंने पूछा स्विमिंग क्यों पहले करते हैं, बिकॉज स्विमिंग इज मोस्ट डेंजरस एंड टफेस्ट। एंड और एक टाइम पे एक आयरन मैन इवेंट के अंदर तकरीबन 3000 लोग पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। सो इट्स अ मैड कॉम्पिटिशन। इट इज कॉम्पिटिशन ऑफ पीपल हु आर फिजिकली एंड मेंटली toughest possible people. That is why it's called the Iron Man. So enjoy this interview, and in the end I've asked him कि young generation के लिए आपके पास क्या advice है. So listen to that part very carefully where he says only thing you require is hard work, and shortcut से कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, काम करना पड़ेगा, do it slowly. And another great thing he says, once you reach the top, that is actually the base for the next mountain you have to climb. And जिंदगी में आप कभी रिटायर नहीं हो सकते हो। And if you have hard work, if you are disciplined, this is the formula for success in life. So friends, watch this amazing episode with Major General Vikram Dogra, Iron Man of India. Thank you. Jai Hind. First of all, welcome to More Talks. What a pleasure to see you, sir. And I've been literally following you for a long time. मैं सोचा कम मौका मिलेगा सर का इंटरव्यू रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. How are you, sir?
Hi, Yash. Good morning. Great to be here. I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's really cold out here, and I'm sure you're in Gurgaon, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in Gurgaon, sir.
Yeah, so it's chilling.
Chilling, I know. It's quite cold, but for you and me, it's just a few days of cold. फिर दोबारा गर्मी आ जाएगी, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, your life is very inspiring, sir. I don't know whether to start from your NDA and IMA days, jahan you got a Sword of Honor, gold medal, and after that also Pune Horse, everywhere. Absolutely top of the line, army officer. Or should I start from your exploits now as an Iron Man, sir? Very inspiring.
I'll leave that choice to you.
तो ऐसा करते हैं, sir. I'll start with Iron Man. At age of 62, sir. At age of 62, you have done your third Iron Man, sir. जरा ये बताओ, ये कहाँ से आता है ये मोटिवेशन और इंस्पिरेशन, सर?
for this, I have to take you back to my first Ironman. And the first Ironman I did when I was 58, and that time I did it because of a personal reason. And the training was very tough. It took me 1.5 years to train, and I was working, of course, so 10 hours gone at office, and the balance of the time where I had to carve out my training from. And I swore I'll never do another Ironman again because it was so painful. Every day after the training, I would sit and curse myself कि कहाँ फंसा दिया अपने आप को. But then once it was over and about 3 months passed, I started feeling a hollowness about what am I doing in life? Where is my direction? You lose focus because you wake up, you're in your comfort zone, you're enjoying the way things are, in the army. This is a very set routine. And by the time you're at that stage, you have seen it all and done it all. And therefore, it's not a challenge. And therefore, I started wondering that where am I going? And I went and registered for my second Ironman. And then, of course, now it was done willingly with a lot of consideration which had gone into it because I had realized why I'm doing it. Then I wanted to do a third one and COVID came. So that was 2019, I did the second one. Then 20 COVID, 21 COVID. And this year, then it opened out. That was when I say this year means last year, 2022. It opened out. And so I went and registered for it. So really, there is no special energy that was there within me. It was just the drive to find direction and a purpose to wake up each morning and then look at what you have to do. So I have to do some cycling ride, I have to do some swimming today, I have to do some running. And it gave me a purpose for my daily routine.
Can I count it something जैसे पहले तपस्वी पहाड़ों में जाते थे तपस्या करने सर आयरन मैन करना कुछ ऐसा है क्या मतलब it's more mental I think than physical.
I would say it is a good mix of both, but it starts with mental. And it's only when mentally you feel you can do it, you have the kind of consistency, the focus, the perseverance, then comes the physical part. Because I may have all that and not make the effort to do the physical training, then it won't work. So it is a combination of both, first mental and then physical.
And I was seeing your reels, you are going to Meerut at night and cycling and all because I've been following you. तो सर ये एक just tell for the audience what does Ironman mean सर मतलब क्या क्या इवेंट होती हैं इसमें मैराथन रनिंग एंड साइकिलिंग रनिंग एंड स्विमिंग what does it entail जो आपने 3 Ironman करी है सर distance and time.
Yeah, so an Ironman event is like you said 3 different disciplines. It starts with a swim because the swim is considered to be the most dangerous. And it is during the swim that maximum casualties take place. A number of people have even died while doing the swim because of heart attacks and things. Because whilst you have trained and come, and then you find 3,000 people starting off, you start competing with other people and you overstretch your own capability. So it is the most dangerous. So first is the swim of 3.8 kilometers, which is done in an open water. It could be a sea, an ocean, or a lake. Thereafter, you have to cycle 180 kilometers.
180 kilometer cycle. And कितना time मिलता है सर इसके बीच में?
कोई time नहीं है, time आपका है. The moment
अच्छा, it is continuous. Okay,
yeah.
There is no break in between. खाने पीने के लिए या कुछ rest करने के लिए.
जो भी break है वो आपके ऊपर है. So I'll tell you the format. There is a chip which is tied onto your left ankle. And that chip starts recording the moment you cross a line before the swim. So before the sea, there is a line put. Moment you cross, the chip starts. Okay. And then it only stops when you cross the finish line. In between that, if you want to stop, have some hydration, nutrition, rest करना, वो आपका time है. Time चल रहा है आपका. आपको जो मर्जी करना करो आप. So you go run and wear your cycling shoes and get onto your bike and then do a 180 kilometer cycling ride. And the peculiarity of an Ironman is that no cycling ride is easy. 180 kilometers is, of course, the distance. Then there are other problems like elevation. So when I did my first Ironman, for example, जो Austria में की थी,
Austria में था, हाँ.
उसमें 6,000 feet elevation we gained in that.
My God.
So the degree of difficulty is always there. जो flat course भी हैं, like my second Ironman was in Germany, Hamburg. It was a relatively flatter course, just about 1500 feet of elevation, but there were strong headwinds. So
that is also cycling with a strong headwinds.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
So they
really
make sure that the event is challenging. So after the 180 kilometers, then you have to go for a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers. And the timing is you have to complete it within 16 to 17 hours. And this time varies depending upon where your event is. Austria, it was 17 hours. Germany, it was 15 hours and 40 minutes. Spain, it was 16 hours.
और कितने लोग पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं सर?
हर इवेंट में तकरीबन 3000 लोग होते हैं.
तो 3000 स्विमर एकदम कूद रहे हैं पानी में.
हाँ, सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन जो एंट्री है वाटर बॉडी की, if it is a sea, you could have, a big start together. If it is a lake and there is a restricted entry, then they will line you up. Maybe
जैसे हम लोग
10
करते हैं
people,
सर बीपीटी में, you keep leaving people.
10 people together going so that, you're not jumping over each other. But despite that, क्या होता है कि एक के ऊपर एक लोग चढ़ते हैं because 3,000 people are being pumped into that.
That narrow funnel की start करने के लिए.
Yeah, but they also tell you that time yourself on your own as to how much time you will take to complete these 3.8 kilometers. So normally the good people do it in about 50 minutes. The cutoff time is 2 hours 20 minutes. So they have enclosures made where you stand accordingly. That okay, I feel I'll be able to do it, and say I stand normally in the 1 hour 25 minute enclosure. So the people who are at 50 go first, then the 60, then 110, like that, so that you phase out as per your own timing. तो ऐसे होता है.
Sir, because I've seen your reels when you are coming out of water and then quickly wearing the cycling, removing that cycling gear and taking your cycle and all. तो इसकी जो ट्रेनिंग है सर, do you have a coach या आप आपकी अपना ट्रेनिंग शेड्यूल बनाते हो आप सर?
मैंने अपने लिए तो कोई कोच लिया नहीं. जब मैंने पहला आयरन मैन किया था, I did a lot of research on how to do the transitions from swim to cycle to running. What is the kind of equipment? What is the kind of training? How to look at nutrition, hydration, and everything, all the dynamics. So because I studied a lot, and at that stage, when you're 58, you know your body by then. As no coach can tell you about your body. The coach can only give you gyan, but finally implementing is up to you. How you can implement that gyan into practicality. And that has an element of what your body type is and how much your body can take. So I didn't take a coach. I had no nutritionist. I had no coach. I did all the
all your own research, your own study.
Yeah.
And in your backup team, sir, who are there? Like I've seen you cycling. So dangerous, sir. दिल्ली से मेरठ साइकिल, मेरे को तो अब घर वाले जाने नहीं देते साइकिल पे यार. बहुत so many accidents have taken place. Who monitors? Because you need a team. तो कौन है आपकी टीम में जो आपका पूरा ये सेटअप को to जनरल डोगरा को आयरन मैन कराने के लिए? Who all are supporting you?
My team is my wife and my sons. So I used to catch them. Now I used to start cycling. You must have seen that Meerut Expressway.
Yeah.
2 बजे निकलता था मैं, because so that the traffic is less. Also, most of these highways have a restriction on cyclists. So you have to be a little cautious about what time you're going. So I used to go at 2, and then my wife and my son used to be with me behind me in the car, basically protecting me from the rear.
Yeah.
So that, there's so much of this heavy traffic going, fast traffic.
You can get sucked into a truck passing or,
Correct. So they were there with me. And so it was more of a problem for them. Because when you're on a cycle and you're doing 180 kilometers, you are in a different mode. You are like, you're possessed. But जो पीछे आ रहे हैं आपके, they are in a car which is heated up in winter and, air conditioned in summer. And they are moving at 30 kilometers an hour for 6 to 7 hours behind you.
Very boring. After some time, कितना देखते रहोगे वही cyclist को सामने.
तभी मैंने, that's why I used to take 2 of them so that they could chat and nobody fell asleep. Yeah.
Sir, ये बताओ, आपने पहला Ironman किया था. You were in army headquarters, I know. After command of the division, you were the provost marshal, है ना sir?
I was DG resettlement.
अच्छा, finally your DG resettlement. Okay. आपने जब decide किया sir, how did the spark come? कि General Dogra was known for fitness. Everyone knows you in the army कि यार बहुत fit बंदा है. ये आइडिया कैसे आया सर कि ये करना है आपने? ये मतलब ये पागलपंती का जुनून कहाँ से आया? Who ignited this fire?
it's not Pagalpanti ka junoon. It was a very personal reason, and I'll share it with you now because I have shared it a number of times. Initially, nobody knew about it. So, in my career, I had been doing very well right from the beginning. I am a
Absolutely. Nobody can deny you that. Huh?
I got the silver centurion. I topped my VIOS course. I was a competitive vacancy on the staff college. I topped the staff college, and everywhere my commands were good. But when the board was held, my name was not there amongst those which was approved, and I was overconfident कि मेरा तो नाम होगा पक्का, हो ही नहीं सकता नाम ना हो. So that was a big setback to me because I was not prepared. I was, like I said, overconfident.
Hmm.
So I was not prepared for that failure. And when it came, so whatever the reason was, petty politics or whatever it was.
Or the way we, later on go for our lanyard culture, keh lo fauj ka, ya, myopic view of looking at, things.
No, I won't talk about the reason because it was immaterial at that time. The fact that it didn't happen was more material, and like I said, I was not prepared. तो मेरे को बहुत ही बुरा लगा. I got into hibernation. I was ashamed meeting people कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, yes. And I knew people would say ये सोचता मैं बड़ा फन्ने खान हूँ और
कुछ ऐसे कहेंगे, कुछ sympathy, कुछ they'll try and see यार bad luck and all. वो भी अच्छा नहीं लगता है ना?
Correct. So I was avoiding meeting people, avoiding parties, feeling very, very, depressed, brooding. And this continued for about 1 year. And then I realized that kuch karna padega, otherwise I can't carry on like this. Because, when you're in that kind of a mode, everything else also starts looking very, pessimistic. You start behaving in a very pessimistic way.
नेगेटिव फीलिंग आती रहती है हमेशा, है ना? सबके साथ छोटी छोटी बात पे घर पे भी atmosphere ऐसा हो जाता होगा.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell my wife and kids also how I'm feeling because I didn't want them to realize that, this guy is, I didn't want them to think that he's weak, that he's a weak guy. So I said, it doesn't matter, nahi hua to koi baat nahi badi. You know how it is in the forge. So then I said that kuch to karna padega to convince myself that I am, there's nothing wrong with me. Because I slowly started feeling low on confidence. कि मेरे में कोई कमी है, क्यों नहीं अप्रूव हुआ मैं? So your self-esteem goes down, your confidence goes down. So then I started searching, and that is when I came onto this event called Ironman. I found it on YouTube, and I was very, very, inspired by it. That ये बहुत ही मुश्किल है करना. It seemed impossible to me that at 58 I would be able to do the Ironman. So I said, अगर ये मैं कर लूँगा, then I will at least convince myself that मेरे में कोई कमी नहीं है. I will maybe get my confidence back, and that is exactly what happened. When I did the Ironman, I restored my own self-esteem.
You restored your self-esteem. You became pride of the nation. Your news army was celebrating it. First general.
That was all bonus. That was not what I had not told the army.
I know. Yes, sir. ये तो spin-off है ना. ये तो event के spin-off. Nothing succeeds like success. कुछ हो जाए तो फिर everybody rides on a winner, ना sir. So maybe that is the reason.
Nobody knew I'm going for Ironman except my friends.
Yeah. But you must have taken permission, sir. Did you get it easily?
I took permission to go abroad. And there is also a clause that if you're doing any sporting event abroad, then you have to write to MT Directorate and seek their sanction. And this guy, Kulpreet was DGMT, ADGMT. So I told him, I'm going for this event. I'm sending you the application. Usko tum kar dena, because I'm not looking at any compensation later on. So he signed it and sent it. And that was attached. And thereafter, that was the end of it. Nobody even looked at it after that. It's only when the event happened and some videos started going around. You know how WhatsApp groups in the army are.
Yeah.
So it started going around, and then I got a call from Army headquarters that what is it that you've done? Give us more details. And then I made a little write out and sent it to them, and then it was tweeted by the army.
That was great, sir. I remember. So this was how many months before you retired, sir?
It was in the month of July. I retired in Jan next year, so about 6-7 months.
You must have got a high, na, sir. Again, back to your. Did you get back to your normal routine and same mojo, sir, that you were in earlier?
It was not a high. It was not a high, but like I said, I restored my self-esteem. So I slowly got back to what I should have always been. I didn't consider it to be something great I had done. And it took me a long time to try and understand why people are so excited about it. Because when I got back from my event, I found 10 officers waiting for me at the airport at 3 in the morning. It had never happened in my entire career of 27 years. So I said, what the hell are you guys doing here? कोई मेरे यूनिट के आए हुए थे, कोई ऑफिस के आए हुए थे, कोई ऐसे आए हुए थे, दाई से. So it was like I was amazed. It was not something I was expecting. And I went to office the next day. DG, this thing, resettlements office is in RK Puram.
Yeah, I know.
And you have a mixed Fauji and civilian, staff. And there was a big crowd outside. So I asked my driver, कोई हड़ताल है आज के? He said, नहीं सर, आपकी वेट कर रहे हैं ये.
अरे वाह,
And they were waiting with garlands and that kind of stuff. So that was a little, again, I was embarrassed that ये सब क्या है. So that's how it started. Then the ministry called me because I was under the ministry of.
Yeah, it's under the ministry.
And the secretary gave a tea in my honor and garland and shawl and stuff like that. That was it was very. I was uneasy about it.
Because I know you don't like this kind of glamour and shoshabaji. You're one of those quietly working kind.
Yeah. I didn't think it was. I personally didn't think it was deserving all that. But somehow people were very excited, and then that's how it started.
Sir, ये पहले आपने ऑस्ट्रिया किया, फिर you did it in Germany and now in Barcelona. It must be really fun to visit these places and meet other athletes, sir.
It's not fun. Because till your event is over, you are preparing for it. So I go about a week in advance. You have to register. You have to do a swim in the sea. Like this time, it was a Mediterranean Sea. It was cold. It was choppy. You need to take a test swim. Then you cycle a little bit on the route. You do a run out there so that you are limbered up. And then the tension, or you can say the anxiety. Anxiety, whether it will happen. I hope I don't get a cramp. I hope my tire doesn't get punctured. Because if you get a puncture, you have to repair it yourself. There is no assistance coming from outside.
No backup, sir.
No backup. You can't get any assistance from outside. So your entire hydration, nutrition, and other stuff is self-sustained.
So you carry because 180 kilometers is बहुत है, sir.
Swimming के बाद two spare tubes. I carry 2 spare tubes and 2 CO2 cartridges. These CO2 cartridges, when you put it into the tube, it inflates the tube up. You don't need to carry a pump.
Acha, okay.
And so you have to practice. Remember soda makers mein jaise wo the same thing, small cartridges, and one cartridge gives you 1 tire full of the triathlon bike or your own bike. Yeah. Okay. So those kind of thoughts keep going into your mind. And it's once the event is over, then you're so damn exhausted that you want to get away from there. Uske baad, yes, we normally go for a vacation and stuff like that, and then. And
again, your wife and your kids were with you?
Yeah, both my sons were there and my wife was there with me. Yeah.
That is your backup team. So, sir, ये बहुत this is Ironman, being an Ironman, being a Fauji general, and at 62 years to do this. And लोग तो 40-45 वाले ऐसे चलते हैं, sir. Even army में I've seen. There's just no go for physical fitness. क्या करना चाहिए sir young generation को? What would be your young and also our generation? How do we keep fit, sir? क्या करना चाहिए?
I think like you said, it starts with the mind. In the army, we have we have laid down such standards that at 40, you are given 3 minutes additional for BPT, and at 45, you are overage for BPT. So the moment you stop doing BPT, you feel you have reached some ancient milestone in your life that abhi now मेरे को BPT लागू नहीं है. And at 50 तुम्हें PPT भी लागू नहीं है. So ये हमने खुद सेट किया है in the army as an institution. I think we need to review all this. So once you review it, the mindset changes. Right now, our mindset is that 30. See, your first, I think, leeway you get in BPT is at 30. You get a minute and a half extra.
Yeah.
And at 40, you get 3 minutes extra. Yeah. So we are already telling people that a 30-year-old, you cannot compete with a guy who's 25. And that is why I feel that most army officers stop doing workouts after 45, and because they psychologically feel that push, something might happen, you might get a heart attack or you might get other stuff. So this mindset should change. So when more and more people are now participating in such events like Ironman and marathons and doing cycling at much older ages, those examples, if young people look at, it gives you a wake up call that look at this guy, he can do it, so mere mein kya kami hai? I saw this video on YouTube, I must share with you, and this woman is my inspiration. She's a nun in the United States. And when she was 48, she was introduced to running for the first time. At 52, she did her first Ironman event. And thereafter, she went and did it 40 times.
My God.
40 times. The last time she did it when she was 86 years old.
The Ironman, this entire thing.
Entire. So when I saw her video, मैंने कहा ये कर सकती है तो हम तो 58 के ही हैं. That's so, she inspired me. And similarly, I feel that more and more people, when they're doing this, it will inspire the younger generation. Otherwise,
यही हमारा यही काम है सर, आपका और मेरा, कि in our second innings to inspire people in their first innings. मैं इसीलिए निकलता हूँ सर साइकिलिंग के लिए, रनिंग के लिए, कि यार बच्चे पिछले 2 साल बारिश में सर I did cycling throughout the rains. So ये मैंने विश्वास दिला दिया बच्चों को देश में कि यार बारिश से कोई बीमार नहीं होता है, ये फैलेसी है.
And pickling True.
हाँ. And आपने सर first time you did cycling, big long cycling was when you came from Leh to Chandigarh, I think.
No, I did a lot of cycling rides before that. I've done Jodhpur, Jaisalmer. I did, the only guy to have cycled on this route is Akhnur to Rajouri and back.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the people on the roads were also quite surprised. They'd never seen a cycle on the roads. That was 2013.
2013. Cycling कब start किया सर आपने? When did you start cycling?
Well, I used to play a lot of cycle polo, but this kind of cycling I started in 2011. Yeah. So 13, when I did this ride from Rajouri, from Akhnur to Rajouri, and the next day ride back, that was very exciting. Because it was a line of control. We waited for the road opening party to come and get in place, all clear, and then move. So
that must be exciting. So
I did Leh in 2016, Leh to Chandigarh, and then I also did Northeast. Cycled from Bomdilla over the Sela Pass to Tawang, and then from Tawang up towards Bumla. If you go about 10 kilometers on that road, then the road finishes. And then it's only not even a gravel track, but a stony track. So thereafter it started snowing. We put our bikes into the car and then went up to the Bumla border on bikes. So that was another good place I cycled.
Did you have a group in इस सब में, आप अकेले कर रहे थे sir, many of these rides?
There were about 3-4 people, all civilians. Yeah.
So civil में मैं देखता हूँ sir, I am also member of a club here in Gurgaon. This awareness of fitness, मुझे लगता है फौज से ज्यादा अब सिविल में है ना?
Because फौज में हमें forcefully कराया जाता है, so we don't think it doesn't remain a hobby anymore.
Yeah, and I think somewhere, sir, we are to be blamed for this, for not making our PT and games interesting.
Yeah.
You've been a sports person. मैं भी first guard से हूँ sir, बहुत खेले हैं. हमने उसको इतना interesting बनाया sports को कि हमने BPT का ना, जो आप बोल रहे थे टाइमिंग का, मेरी यूनिट में सर we had a super excellent also 23 minutes का timing, and it was irrespective of age. So जो आपका इंटर कंपनी BPC competition होता था, तो even I as a CO, I commanded late, and as a brigade commander also, I enjoyed कि यार हम youngsters के साथ दौड़ेंगे under 25 के साथ and still come in excellent in BPT, just to set a benchmark.
Yeah, so I had also done something similar, where I had said there is no other grading except excellent. If you don't come in excellent, you will keep running BPT every week till you come into excellent. Otherwise, सारा साल चलेगी आपकी BPT हर हफ्ते. So the number of excellents went up.
It will go, sir. And see, you and me, हम कर सकते थे क्योंकि हम कर रहे थे खुद. We were walking the talk. अगर ऐसे ऑर्डर पास करो ना, कोई नहीं करता.
True.
You have to do it. And इसका एक फायदा, मैं आपको इंटरेस्टिंग इवेंट बताऊं सर. मैं बांग्लादेश, I did my second staff college, and मैं RR से गया था सीधा,
और बीपीटी से 2 माइल तो हमने बंद कर दी थी एकेडमी डेज में, देन जस्ट 5 किलोमीटर एट कम.
Yeah.
बट वहां पे ना अभी भी देयर पाकिस्तान एंड बांग्लादेश आर्मी आर स्टिल ऑन 2 माइल रन. सो वन डे वी सॉ दिस नोटिस इन द कॉलेज कि यार इस सैटरडे को फ्राइडे को छुट्टी होती है उनकी, देयर विल बी बीपीटी रन फॉर ऑफिसर्स हु आर डूइंग द स्टाफ कोर्स एंड फॉरेन ऑफिसर्स आर वेलकम इफ दे वांट टू कम. तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं वो कीड़ा था सर. मैं पूरा बेल्ट बुल्ट लगा के कॉम्बैट ड्रेस में पहुंच गया एंड आई वाज अ लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल. दिस सेड कर्नल व्हाट आर यू डूइंग, आप क्यों आए हो यहाँ, दिस इज एंड बांग्लादेश आर्मी नेवी एयरफोर्स के ऑफिसर्स थे सब. ऐसे नहीं आई जॉब विद यू. सर रन स्टार्ट हो गया, पता नहीं है इंडियन आर्मी की ट्रेनिंग या फर्स्ट गार्ड्स की ट्रेनिंग क्या थी. सर आई इन दैट 2 माइल रन आई बीट ऑल ऑफिसर्स, आई स्टूड फर्स्ट इन द कॉलेज. So it spread like wildfire, and these officers are 8 to 10 years junior to me. Para SF के officers भी थे, and none of the foreigners came. तो पाकिस्तान आर्मी को उनके एम्बेसी को पता लगा ऐसे इंडियन लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल ने बांग्लादेश के अंदर वो फर्स्ट आ गया बीपीटी में. तो इनको फोन आ गया कि साले तुम क्या कर रहे थे, व्हाई डिडंट यू गाइस ब्लडी गो. सो इट क्रिएटेड क्वाइट अ, आई रोट एन आर्टिकल आल्सो ऑन दैट 2 माइल रन इन ढाका. तो ऐसे पता इट कैन हेल्प यू समवेयर टू bring up your self-esteem and pride, sir.
True.
So now we will go back to your Indian IMA days, sir. You're a Sword of Honor gold medalist. Tell me, how did you join NDA, sir? कब आपने join किया NDA? What was the inspiration to join NDA, sir?
I joined NDA 1978 January, and my inspiration was my father, who was in the army. From the time I could, I can remember. I only used to see him going to office in his uniform, and he took part in the 62 war, 65, 71. And I was very inspired by his lifestyle, his way of functioning, and I wanted to be like him. So from the age of about 4 years, when somebody asked me, "Kya karoge?" I said, "I'm going to join the army." And then I was in a hostel in Mussoorie, St. George's College. I had appeared for the NDA when I was in class 11. Clear हो गया, SSB हो गया. There was no training those days, going for long training for SSB and stuff. And I did my 11th, and although 10 plus 2 had come, so the plus 2 12th was in place, but India was still accepting after 11th. So I didn't do any board exam, for the 12th. After 11th, the day the 11th finished, January, I joined. It was a December session still, and that's why I joined the NDA.
First chance you cleared the written exam as well as your SSB.
Yeah, I did.
How was your NDA, sir? Any कोई यादें NDA की कोई अच्छी बुरी यादें?
NDA was not what I was expecting. I thought, NDA चले गए अभी, it'll be very officer-like environment. I had seen officers. I used to look at officers in a very different manner. Very polished, very correct. Correct. India mein it was gadar, because there were people from every part of the country. Some were crude, some were rustic, some were good, bad, ugly. You know how it is. All put together. And it took me about a month, 2 months to get used to this environment, the kind of language being used, the kind of, way we were behaving out there and stuff.
The way you were treated.
The treatment was not so bad.
Achha, okay.
I was more alarmed at the way the other cadets used to behave, talk. Not all of them, but some of them. And so that was one. Then I found I was not being able to pass my PT tests, despite having come from a hostel, but I was in the weak squad. It took me 2 terms to get out of the weak squad. So I was put on 2 extra PT. So after our lunch, there is about a 45-minute gap, which is called for make and mend. And, generally you do things which you want to do. So in that time, these seniors used to give me ragda for 45 minutes. And after games, call me back again and give me ragda for about 1 hour. Uske alawa, it was very humiliating that you are in a weak squad. So I tried to do a lot of training in my cabin, do push-ups, this, that. By the time I came to the end of my second term, I had cleared my PT test and even my higher tests. And then there was no looking back. So this was something which I remember very vividly, because I was very ashamed at that time, that PT test mein pass nahi ho rahe tumhare test. Yeah. And of course, the entire environment in India is such that you are put through your academics, which you can't concentrate on because you're so tired. मॉर्निंग तुमने पीटी की है, फिर ड्रिल किया, उसके ऊपर सीनियर्स तुम्हारे ऊपर चढ़े हुए हैं, And I being one who was not really, there weren't many people from my school out there. Maybe one odd guy in India, unlike the
More of military school and Sainik school kind of.
Sainik school this, Sainik school this, Sainik school this. They had big gangs, and I was like a lone ranger out there. So there were more people who were targeting me. So you had to combat all that. And yet you had to, of course, train and do your academics. So it was a very different and unique experience.
And you were not one of those who was into restrictions या punishments वगैरह तो आपने कभी नहीं करी होंगी. Yeah, you were.
I remember 7 extra drills in NDA, but that was all. I never did made any, I was not the type to do any serious bad
mischief.
stuff. Yeah. So luckily from that side I was okay.
And you did well academics. And did you get any blue or blazer, sir, in NDA?
I didn't do well in academics.
अच्छा.
When I'm talking about NDA.
NDA की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. हाँ.
I put in all my energies to come out of that PT syndrome which I was in, weak cadet. So by the time I passed out, I was best in physical fitness, best in marching, first in OLQ, but my academics had dropped to 2.92 CGPA.
My God, that is.
Pass out of NDA, you need 3 CGPA. I had started with 4.8 and it just kept coming down like that. They let me go through because I was the academy cadet adjutant. And I had, I told you about my physical training and my drill and OLQ and all, but my academics, I was to actually have been relegated. 3 was the minimum to pass out. But they ignored that and let me go through. But
so you were almost on the edge, eh?
Yeah. No, I was below the edge.
Oh.
3 is the minimum. I was at 2.92. When I came to IMA, then I took a lesson and then I started focusing on my academics and on my physical training, both of which physical training anyway I was up, and now academics. I mean, I didn't lack intellect. It was just that I couldn't focus there. So in IMA I made up, and then I focused on both, and so then I did well.
Which squadron were you in NDA, sir?
I was in Hunter Squadron.
Hunter is known for many things.
Yeah.
Ragada is one of them, I think.
And I went back as Squadron Commander, Hunter Squadron.
Okay.
हाँ.
अच्छा. Sir, ये बताओ कि in IMA you were in which company, which battalion?
I was in Alameen. That time, Sangro and Alameen were in the main blocks. I don't know if you're familiar with IMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main blocks are the old blocks which were constructed along with Chetwood Hall.
Yeah, just behind the Chetwood Hall.
Correct. Now today the ACC wing has taken them over. Okay. But that time Alameen and Sangro used to be there. Karyapa Battalion.
So then IMA, what transformation did you do that you got the Sword of Honor, you are gold medalist? Rarely hota hai ki you get both the awards. That means you're very good in drill, command of the parade, and outstanding in every aspect. So what extra did you do, sir? What change did you do NDA se IMA mein? Kya aapne extra kaam kiya so that you could get this coveted award?
So the first change which I did was I focused on my academics also, on the military subjects and whatever academics there is. I focused on that. In my physical training, I worked harder. Now in IMA, a lot of times you're taken as a squad for running, whether it's BPT training or your PT training, and that squad runs at the speed of the weakest.
Lowest.
So I found that it's not benefiting me at all. So within the squad, then I would raise my legs to knee height, my knees higher, so that I would put in 1.5 times of the effort. So I worked hard both on physical and on my academics. And by the time I passed out, I again got the best in drill, best in shooting, I got the para medal for best in physical fitness, and of course first in the armored corps and gold medal and the sword. Yeah.
And Sword of, what was the feeling of your parents, sir, when they saw you with the Sword of Honor and number 1 in the academy?
Must have been happy because nobody ever told me. But they were there. My father had settled in Dehradun, and our house was just about 3 kilometers from the IMA. So they were there. Yeah, they were there. And
he was from which unit, sir? Which regiment?
From Ordnance. Yeah.
So, sir, you joined the Pune Horse, one of the most decorated and finest armored regiments of Indian Army. This was by choice. You wanted to go to Pune Horse, or you just filled Armored Corps?
No. I gave Pune Horse as my choice because I had been brainwashed by an officer from the Pune Horse. I was an infantry optee. I love marching and, the band and other stuff playing. And Armored Corps has none of this. Nobody marches,
none of
there are
this,
no
huh?
bands. So it was a big loss when I went to Armored Corps. But like I said, I was an infantry optee till I met this officer who over lunch convinced me that the Armored Corps is the arm of the future. There are tanks. It's a weapon system. It's dynamic. All the sales he did, and I got convinced. So I opted for the Armored Corps, and this officer was from Pune Horse, and I also knew that Pune Horse is two Paramveer Chakras. So I opted for it. And there was no vacancy in Pune Horse because an officer had gone there 6 months prior to me. He had parental claim. But since I was number one, they had to give me whatever I opted for.
So initially, yes, sir, you got the Silver Centurion, which is the best VIO. That time it was armored and mech used to be combined, I think. है ना, sir? VIO course.
But they were together, but the awards were separate from mech and separate for armor.
Okay. So then क्या होता है, मैंने देखा सर बहुत से, I've seen it because I was not high in merit like you, but later on when the realization came कि यार कोर्स में ऐसे करना होता है, then we caught up and went ahead also of people who were otherwise. So as an officer, आपने how did you maintain your balance कि यार NDI में तो ठीक है, अब फौज में अच्छा करना है. So how did you maintain that focus to continue to excel while in the army, sir, as an officer?
I can't really pinpoint this thing that how I maintained the focus, but there was always that desire to excel in whatever you did. So whether it was in the unit or in the course, I studied a lot on the courses because I knew that once you go for a course, it's only that 2 or 3 months of the course duration and it's not going to come back again. So you have to give it your everything. I found a lot of officers saying that, Koini, let's go and party, let's go in this, it doesn't matter, kal exam hai. But I didn't think that way. I thought, if you miss out this chance is not going to come back again. So I really worked. I don't know whether it was, I can attribute that focus to anything specific. But like I said, the wish to excel in whatever you did was always there.
Because मैंने बहुत, especially I've seen this happening with ex-NDA officers, that very good NDA IMA, and then they start sliding in the VIO course, and they feel it is more macho to be on the bar and to waste time here and there, and slowly your grades start slipping, VIOs and then JC and staff college, and then you find people, then फिर हाथ से ना वो रेत की तरह time निकल जाता है.
It's too late.
है ना? हाँ, and then you look back, you say, "Yaar, these guys were better." क्यों नहीं? Then anyway, so it was wonderful that you maintained your focus, sir. How was your unit command, sir? कहाँ पे unit command किया आपने?
I commanded my unit in Ambala. So उसमें भी I waited 2 years to command my unit. I was surplus to command. 2001 I was approved. 1999 was it? 2001. My batchmates took over in 2001, and my unit had just been taken over by an officer called Karan Singh Rathore, who was 2 years my senior. So MS Branch told me, look for another unit. So I said, no, I don't want any other unit. I applied for study leave. So I took 2 years study leave and waited. I was approved on study leave. My course mates were commanding. By the time they were finishing their command, I got my command in 2003. I commanded in Ambala and part of 14 in depth out there, Armored Brigade. And I had a fantastic command. I enjoyed myself.
You were into sports and जवानों को भी ऐसे leaders पसंद आते हैं who can push them.
शुरू में तो उन्होंने शायद गालियां भी निकाली होंगी because I tried to change their lifestyle from what probably they had become used to something which they was not so used to. But later they got addicted to it. And we had a waiter in the mess, Harbans Lal, quite overweight. And like I had said, unless you come in excellent, there is no way that your BPT will stop. He was running BPT every day, not even every week, because he was not passing. And he used to tell me later on, "Sir, abhi halka halka lagta hai, bahut maza aata hai." So initially he was probably cursing me, but after 3-4 months of that routine, then even he started enjoying it.
So we also ensured this, sir, in our unit. I remember as a company commander, then as CO. कि यार ट्रेड तुम्हारी जो है वो ठीक है, यू मे बी अ कुक और वेटर और ट्रेड्समैन और आईएनटी गाय, बट और अ क्लर्क, लेकिन भैया ये कंपलसरी है, उसके बाद बाकी चीजें शुरू होती है. सो
or even the religious teachers.
और इवन द रिलीजियस
We have the
टीचर्स,
Pandit ji and the Granthi ji. I made them both run PPT.
अदरवाइज
And
दे गेट अवे, दे गेट अवे.
JCS came to me कि सर नहीं नहीं मत कराओ. I said नहीं, मिलिट्री ये फायरिंग भी करेंगे, अपना पूरा पास करेंगे. And of course they are religious teachers that they anyway doing that job.
दे शुड डू इट, दे शुड डू इट. एक बार विश्वास करने की बात है. सर मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि हाउ मेनी मोर आयरन मैन्स यू आर प्लानिंग सर आफ्टर दिस?
Yes, I don't think you can really plan, because your body must keep supporting you. This year I don't intend to do any, but next year I surely intend to do one.
क्या एज लिमिट है इसकी, एंड कितने आपने इन दिस 3 आयरन मैन्स दैट यू हैव डन, हाउ मेनी पीपल यू हैव सीन ओल्डर देन यू और कमिंग फ्रॉम डाइवर्स बैकग्राउंड?
There is no upper age limit. The only age limit is down below. Minimum 18 years of age. You can be 80 years old, you can be 90 years old, you can be 100 years old. They're not going to stop you. If you can do it, you can do it. You come and take part.
So what is the oldest person you competed with, sir, in men?
No, I don't know, because on the competitions I never looked at that. But I know this lady, she has a record of being the oldest person and opening new categories. So at 86, she did her Ironman. So 86 is there as the oldest person.
Amazing. So what would be your advice? Now we're at the last leg of this wonderful talk to the young generation, sir. School students, college students will be watching you, will know you. क्योंकि मेरे को बहुत बार लिखते हैं कि सर जनरल डोगरा को कब लेके आ रहे हो आपके साथ मोर टॉक्स में. तो आपकी क्या एडवाइस होगी सर? एक तो लाइफ कैसे लीड करनी चाहिए एज ए स्टूडेंट, एंड दोस्त जो फौज में आना चाहते हैं, आर्मी नेवी एयरफोर्स में ऑफिसर्स बनना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए सर किस टाइप का हैबिट्स होनी चाहिए, करंट अफेयर्स, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, क्या करना चाहिए उनको सर? व्हाट दे कैन टेक फ्रॉम यू?
I feel the only way to success is by hard work. Most of us, the youngsters which I see around, have got used to quick success, or looking at quick success, because today we are so much into social media. You put up a post and you get 100 likes, you get 1,000 likes, and you feel, wow, I'm so good. But that's not true. Finally, you have to perform on ground. And for that, unless you work hard, it's not going to happen. So if you maintain this, that hard work is the key to your success, and then everything which goes along with it in terms of consistency, your patience, your focus, if you look at it that way, then I'm sure you can achieve whatever you want to. So that, I feel, is one message I want to give them. Secondly, I also want to tell them that you should try and have people around you whose eyes lighten up when they see you. Don't go and associate with people who are not happy to see you. I'm not talking about your friend circle. I'm talking about the people who matter. So associate with people whose eyes light up when they see you. Second thing is that the fastest way to get to the top is to go slowly, not fast. So you want to get there fast, but you will have to go there slowly. There is no quick shortcut. And the third is that the top of the mountain that you have climbed today is actually the base of the next mountain you have to climb. So it's not that, अभी मेरा हो गया, मैंने क्लियर कर लिया SSB, अभी मैं ऑफिसर बन गया हूं. नहीं, अभी तो आपकी जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई है. And at every stage, as you keep reaching milestones, you will be at the base of the next milestone. So if you keep this in mind, now how you implement it, I think that is what can actually get you to the top.
Great, sir. मतलब मजा आ गया सुन के. मतलब मुझे भी लग रहा है अपना नेक्स्ट माउंटेन नजर आने लग गया.
नहीं, नेक्स्ट माउंटेन, lot of people ask me कि सर अभी मेरे को ड्रीम पूरा हो गया, अब मैं can I have another dream? I think ड्रीम कभी पूरा नहीं होता.
कभी नहीं पूरे होते.
जिस दिन ड्रीम पूरा हो गया, that is the day you need to be leaving from this earth.
Thank you very much. And that is like people say कि आप तो रिटायरमेंट के बाद इतने बिजी हो गए हो. मैंने कहा अभी तो मजा आया जिंदगी जीने का.
बिल्कुल, yeah.
है ना?
Now you're leading an unregulated life and a
Yeah.
life you want to lead.
Absolutely, freedom. वो so much of freedom, sir, and so much of passion काम करने का, और मतलब 7 to 8 hours, and I take this current affairs and personality development पढ़ाता हूँ सर मैं. I am reading 3 newspapers live every day, and मतलब I was always good in general knowledge, but अब अलग लेवल का है, because you have to read, sir, and बिना पढ़े हुए आप किसी को कुछ बता नहीं सकते हो, sir. It won't last if you don't have the depth of character and depth of fortitude. दोनों चीजें चाहिए, है ना?
Absolutely.
हाँ. तो सर ये बताओ मुझे आप कि what is your routine, sir, now? You're 62 plus now. तो आपकी क्या रूटीन है सर? आप now that you are not doing Ironman, तो क्या करते क्या हो आप सर? Just let me know
See,
how your
not
day
doing-
starts and ends.
Yeah, not doing Ironman doesn't make my life very different, but because I have to keep up, sustain my physical capacity. I work out for an hour in the morning. I wake up at about 6ish. Then I work out for an hour in the morning. After that, I'm in my study. I'm writing a book. In fact, 2 of them going simultaneously. So I spend time there. In the evening, I go and play badminton for about 2 hours. And then I'm back and I look at the news and stuff like that. So this is like a typical day. I'm not socializing too much. COVID has put socializing on a back burner, and these 2 years have got you so used to not socializing that you don't miss it anymore. So this is what my typical day.
You're not into DSY, army clubs, golf and all, and इस सब चीजों में नहीं है?
I played so much of golf during my study leave. I played only golf, and I'm a member of 3-4 golf courses here. But I will start actually devoting time in golf once I can't play games which are more dynamic, like squash, badminton, or running and cycling and stuff like that. Because golf is not exciting me right now. As it used to earlier. I think as a lieutenant colonel, I played more golf than I played as a general. Yeah.
Same here, sir. पता नहीं क्या हो गया है. I am also member of couple of golf courses here. But since the time I've come and started this journey, sir, of being an educator, and my book is here with I Did Vijan Leke, working on another book and writing articles and YouTube and all that. अब मुझे लगता है 5 घंटे कैसे वेस्ट करें. I love that 2 hours of cycling, intense, or 1 hour, that gives more high than 4-5 hours of golf. है ना? कुछ शायद आपको भी ऐसे लगता हो, या टाइम बड़ा वेस्ट हो जाता है.
Although you can truncate your time to 2 hours also, but somehow I don't find it right now exciting. I used to find it exciting earlier, but abhi nahi. Maybe I'll start in another.
Maybe we'll play together someday, sir. It'll be fun to play with you and cycle with you, sir. That I'm looking for that day. If you come this side towards Gurgaon, I'm not at your league. मतलब हम तो बहुत ही novice cyclist. I started only 2 years back.
No, but nobody's cycling for racing. Cycling is a pleasure activity. Yeah, so
pleasure. But still, sir, आप और मैं ना, हम हैं competitive. It is pleasure, but I still see what is the average I've done.
So average निकालनी है, तो firstly then you have to be on a different kind of bike. I've been noticing. I think you are on a hybrid or a mountain bike.
I'm in a hybrid, sir, simple Firefox basic model.
So
but I have to go to a better
change to a road bike. अपने आप आपकी average बढ़ जाएगी. Yeah, because it's lighter, and then of course. Yeah.
भी अच्छा नहीं लगता सर, कोई youngster आगे निकल जाए ना. मतलब I just can't take some cyclist beating me and going ahead. At least for some time, if it's too good, निकल जाएगा. I'm not saying I get desperate, but you do.
I agree with you, and that's why I post my cycling rides, because my best average, which I over 100 kilometers.
कितना सा I lost you in between?
I said the best average I did was 35 kilometers an hour over 100 kilometers.
Oh my God, that is amazing, sir. 35 kmph over 100 kilometers. Amazing, sir.
That's why I like to post those kinds, so that it can.
No, it's very much, sir.
Yeah,
it's very much. Even I like to post my cycle reels or when I'm alone, धुंध में, just to inspire कि यार ये हम इस उम्र में कर सकते हैं रिटायरमेंट के बाद, तो तुम्हें क्या प्रॉब्लम, तुम क्यों सोए हुए हो?
Absolutely.
है ना? Our aim is to ignite the young generation of India, sir. I think we are doing our bit in our own way, and this talk will also add to that category. I love talking to you, sir. बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं बहुत दिन से इंतजार कर रहा था. पहले हेजिटेशन थी, फिर आपका नंबर लिया मैंने आपसे, and then spoke to you and got you on this. It's really wonderful, sir. Very, very inspiring.
In fact, I also had a great time talking to you, Yash. It was really good. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, and hope to catch you up virtually, है ना? And someday meet up either socially somewhere or during cycling, sir, or do an event together, sir.
Of course, anytime. Just let me know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.